Hello, hello, and this is Kimmi from Notary Life with Kimmi. Well, hey guys, today we are talking all about how to navigate a jail signing, okay? Sometimes during general notary work, you may receive a phone call from a family member or the person that's in jail. It could be their attorney. For any reason, they need to have some documents notarized, right? So let's talk about how you're going to handle that. So why the person is in jail is not our business, first of all. So you may be like, wow, what do they do? I don't want to go to the jail. Again, whatever document they are signing, that is not our concern, correct? We just want to make sure we know how to do it when we get there. And I'm just going to go over the process with you, what that looks like a little bit, okay? So, again, it could be anyone calling. It could be a family member. The person has been arrested, so it could be a family member. It could be an attorney, as I just stated. Common documents that may need to be signed while someone is in jail could be a power of attorney. It could be that the vehicle that they were driving was impounded for some reason. Maybe they had a DUI, driving under the influence, and now another family member needs to come and get the car, or they need to come and get some of the belongings out of the vehicle. So all of that needs to be signed off on. They cannot just let you access the car, right? They have to have permission from the owner, which is unfortunately at this time, they would be in jail. So another form that might need to be notarized is temporary custody. So again, perhaps the person is in jail, mother or father, and they need to give custody of their children so they can be put in school, so they can have doctor's appointments or whatever. They have to give temporary custody to someone. So those documents have to be notarized. It could be a real estate document. Perhaps they were right in the middle of a closing or refinance. It could be any number of documents. So we won't focus on what type of document, but I just want to give you an idea why someone would need you in a jail setting, okay? So also, I'm going to do a mock phone call with you shortly so you can see what that sounds like. But you want to make sure you do proper screening on jail signings. Why? Because you don't want to waste a lot of time getting to the jail and then you realize, oh, this person doesn't have any type of ID. The document may not be there. It could be any number of reasons why the person may not be there. I'm going to tell you a short story in a second. But it could be any number of reasons why a jail signing could go bad. And you've invested a lot of time, energy, and your own money, resources, gas, traveling to the jail, and then the signing doesn't happen, right? So screening phone calls on the jail signing is so important. And again, I'm going to do one with you in a moment. Also, when it comes to pricing your jail jobs, you want to make sure that you price those adequately. Make sure you ask for enough money. That's an extremely interesting signing, so of course it's going to require more money. Always check with your state to see what the state says you can charge, okay? So what does that look like, people? I know you're going to ask me. You're going to factor in how long does it take me to drive there. If the jail is right around the corner, it's different than if it takes me an hour each way, right? So you want to factor in some travel time there. You want to factor in some processing time. So this is a good place to talk about security. So when you get to the jail, they're going to check you like they would anybody else going to visit someone. So that might mean you leave your extra stuff in your car. You don't take your whole purse in. You don't take your whole notary bag in. You just take basic ink pens, your ID, of course, because they're going to want to know who you are. Some may allow you to bring a cell phone. They may not. So you have to find that out before you go. If you can take a clipboard in, that's always convenient because you never know where you're going to be signing. And then your notary journal. So you're not taking in much. So that would be your ink pens, clipboard, and a journal if they allow. Okay. So again, you're not taking in your whole bag or purse because most of the time that is not going to be acceptable. You want to wear minimal clothing also because they may want to check you. They might want to actually pat you down and everything. So don't wear layers upon layers of clothes, and that takes more time, So you want to get in and out as fast as you can. So now I'm going to do a mock jail phone call. What does that sound like when someone calls you? Okay, we'll do it together. Ring, ring. Thank you for calling None Better Notary. This is Kimberly. How may I help you? Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, I do visit jails. Okay, your son is in jail. Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, let me ask you a few questions, okay? So, do you know that we'll have access to your son? Do they have a set time that I will be able to do the notarization? And are they allowing him to have visitors? Yes, I spoke with someone there, and they know that we have to get this document signed. Okay, very good. How many documents need to be signed, ma'am? Okay, he's trying to give you custody of the child while he's there. Okay, okay, that's fine. So no witnesses are required in that document? No, ma'am, no witnesses are required. Okay, very good. And then what time have they scheduled for me to be there? Okay, they said 1 o'clock. All right, well, I'll be there at 1. And then I do require half deposit on this because the jail signings tend to take more time, and I just want to ensure that my travel is covered in the event the signing does not take place for some reason. 50% deposit is required. Yes, ma'am. You can pay with your Cash App, debit, credit, or Visa. Okay, very good. So we will see you soon, okay? Thank you. So as you noticed in that phone call, I required half deposit. So when you talk about pricing, this is one of those jobs where I do require half up front. Now back to the story I was going to tell you earlier. The reason I require half up front is because I actually had a jail signing, and the person called me. I drove out there. It was 45 minutes each way. I mean, literally, guys, 10 minutes before I was arriving at the jail, the person called me and told the person who made the appointment called and said that I would not be able to see the inmate because they were not going to let us see them today. I was like, really? So at this point, I did not charge, right? I didn't charge a travel fee. I didn't charge anything. After that incident, though, I said going forward, I would always charge when I go to a jail signing because I want to make sure at least my travel fee is covered. I may not make what I wanted to on the actual notarization part, but if I've driven out there, just say I'm going to charge $150. Just say, that's just the number, guys. I'm not telling you to charge that. I want to get at least $75 for my hours worth of time that I drove out there. And then don't forget I got to drive an hour back. And now gas is almost $4 or $5, $8 a gallon almost, right? I also wanted to tell you how to market that you're willing to do jail signings. How are people going to know that, right? So on your Google Maps or Google My Business, you're going to add, or your website, you're going to actually put those words, willing to travel to jail, complete jail signings or something like that. That way they know that you are willing to go, because everyone's not willing to go to jails. And that's another reason why this becomes specialty or a premium price on this particular type of service. So you got to remember, when people call you for anything outside the norm, and again, this is another reason why notaries are needed today, right? Your bank, if you have a bank account, they're not sending a bank representative to go to the jail. If you want to go to UPS and people say, well, notaries aren't needed today, a notary from the UPS store is not going to travel to a jail. That's when you just became specialty, as I just stated. So you are very much needed. And this is another service, again, where you want to make sure you respect their privacy. You would not want to get in there and say, so what did you do? What's going on? What happened? Remain neutral. They may want to even tell you, well, ma'am, I didn't do what I was accused of. I didn't do this or whatever. We're not there for conversation. You are there to get the document stamped, notarize, ID the person. And again, remain neutral, because you don't know who's watching. If they're watching and you in there saying, something about a case that you know nothing about, even if you do know something about it, which you should not be notarizing for a family member in this instance, or any instance normally. Some states do allow that, but we're normally not going to be notarizing for family. But again, just, keep your opinion to yourself. Well, I don't think the justice system is fair. No, we're not there for that. But these are just some tips on how to navigate a jail signing. And if you have any questions about training or anything else, check us out at notaryeducatorsllc.com. Okay? Bye. Be safe out there.